The Vatican's secret archives, nestled beneath the holy edifice of St. Peter's Basilica, are a repository of intrigue. These archives are a veritable vault, home to an estimated 53 linear miles of shelving containing documents that date back as far as the 8th century. Not simply a library, this labyrinthine collection is organized into different sections, each hosting materials from specific periods or of particular significance. At first glance, the archives may seem merely a historical record, but a closer look reveals much more. The vault contains documents from numerous popes, many of whom played pivotal roles in shaping world events. Personal letters, official decrees, and confidential transcripts all find a place here, each piece contributing to the intricate tapestry of human history. But what truly makes this vault mysterious is its elusive nature. While some of the archives are available to scholars, there is a vast section that remains strictly off-limits. The reasons for this restriction are a matter of speculation. Are their secrets too volatile for the public eye? Could the hidden depths of the vault contain information that would challenge our very understanding of the church, history, or politics? The architecture of the archives is itself a thing of fascination. It's not just a storeroom, but a carefully designed space, almost like a fortress guarding knowledge. The controlled environment, including temperature and humidity, helps preserve ancient manuscripts. It's a place where the past is kept alive, and where every scroll or piece of parchment whispers tales of intrigue, power, faith, and human endeavor. The Vatican's mysterious vault is more than a mere collection. Within the shadowy corridors of the Vatican secret archives lie the echoes of forbidden knowledge, heretical texts, and documents that have been silenced through history. These forbidden books and heretical texts are not just mere collections of words, but potent symbols of differing beliefs and doctrines that once threatened the very fabric of the Church's authority. The Index Librorum Prohibitorum, or the list of prohibited books, was established in the 16th century and maintained until the 20th century. It was a catalogue of publications deemed heretical, anti-clerical, or lascivious by the Church. The authors of these books were often branded as heretics, and their works were suppressed, sometimes destroyed. But copies of some of these books found their way into the Vatican's vault, preserving a record of ideas that were once considered too dangerous to exist. Among the forbidden texts are writings by scientists and philosophers who challenged the Church's views on the universe. The works of Galileo Galilei, who was famously tried and condemned for his support of heliocentrism. His writings and the transcripts of his trial are tangible reminders of the conflict between faith and reason. Alongside scientific treatises are mystical and esoteric texts, writings that delved into alchemy, astrology, and the occult. These works often blended religious ideas with mystical thought, creating syncretic beliefs that were seen as threats to the orthodox doctrines of the Church. But the vault's shelves are not just filled with the works of outsiders. There are also documents related to internal dissent and theological debates within the Church itself. Theologians and clergymen who dared to question or reinterpret church dogma often found their works condemned. The archives preserve these internal struggles, showing a church grappling with its own identity and the challenges of spiritual interpretation. The forbidden books and heretical texts of the Vatican secret archives are more than historical curiosities. They represent a complex interplay between power, knowledge, and belief. By preserving these texts, the Church has inadvertently created a treasure trove that allows us to explore the fringes of religious thought and the human desire to seek understanding beyond the accepted truths. The vast repository of the Vatican secret archives is not confined solely to religious matters. It extends deep into the corridors of political secrets and intrigue. The influence of the Catholic Church has spanned the globe, intertwined with empires and nations, kings and presidents. This relationship between church and state has led to an accumulation of documents that paint a vivid picture of political maneuvering, diplomatic negotiations, and covert operations. Inside the walls of the archives, one can find treaties, correspondence, and intelligence reports that detail the Church's interaction with various governments and political entities. Letters from monarchs, transcripts of secret meetings, and notes from confidential informants are all carefully preserved. These documents provide an unparalleled window into the political landscape of different eras. An example is the Concordat of Worms, an agreement between Pope Calixtus II and Holy Roman Emperor Henry V that settled the investiture controversy. This document marked a significant moment in the balance of power between the Church and the secular rulers of Europe. It's a concrete example of the Church's political acumen and the influence it wielded in international affairs. The Church's role in political matters was not always transparent or forthright. The archives contain evidence of behind-the-scenes diplomacy, such as clandestine negotiations during the Cold War. It is said that the Church played a mediating role between the East and the West, facilitating dialogues that might otherwise have been impossible. There are also dark chapters hidden within these vaults, including files related to the Church's relationship with totalitarian regimes. Documents concerning the Church's interaction with Nazi Germany, Fascist Italy, and other authoritarian governments have been subjects of controversy and intense scrutiny. These interactions raise profound questions about moral responsibility, collaboration, and the fine line between pragmatism and complicity. One must also not overlook the scandals and internal politics of the Church itself. There are documents related to internal power struggles, schisms, and even allegations of corruption within the highest echelons of the Vatican. These papers reveal a complex and sometimes messy reality that contrasts with the public image of the institution. The political secrets housed within the Vatican secret archives offer a multifaceted view of history. They expose the Church's active role in shaping the world stage, navigating the treacherous waters of international politics, and sometimes making morally ambiguous choices. Within the hallowed halls of the Vatican secret archives lies a treasure trove of personal letters from some of history's most iconic figures. These letters, carefully preserved over centuries, provide an intimate window into the minds, souls, and the very human sides of people who shaped the course of history. Imagine holding a letter penned by the hand of Joan of Arc, conveying her unwavering faith and dedication, or poring over the meticulous strokes of Michelangelo as he corresponded about the intricacies of his art. The mere touch of these papers connects one with the emotions, desires, and thoughts of those who lived centuries ago. One particularly notable collection is the correspondence between the kings and queens of Europe and various popes. Through these exchanges, one can trace the political maneuvers, alliances, and sometimes personal vendettas that intertwine the fates of church and state. A personal favorite of many historians is the letter from England's King Henry VIII, pleading for the annulment of his marriage to Catherine of Aragon, a pivotal moment that would lead to the English Reformation. But who has actually been granted access to this maze of hidden treasures? The answer is more complicated and intriguing than one might imagine. Historically, the Vatican secret archives were off limits to anyone outside the upper echelons of the Church. Popes, cardinals, and select scholars were the only ones privy to its contents. In this secretive environment, rumors and speculations flourished, adding to the aura of mystique surrounding the archives. However, in the 19th century, Pope Leo XIII made a revolutionary decision to open the archives to researchers. This landmark move signaled a shift in the Church's approach to its history, from guarded secrecy to a more open engagement with the academic community. Yet, even with this open-door policy, access to the archives is anything but simple. To gain entry, scholars must undergo a rigorous vetting process. They must present their credentials, detail their research objectives, and demonstrate a compelling academic need to access specific documents. Once granted entry, they are ushered into a world that few have the privilege to explore. Perhaps one of the most intriguing aspects of the question, who has actually been there, is the unknown. For every documented visitor, there may be others whose presence was kept secret for reasons known only to the Church. So why is access to these archives so tightly controlled? And what might the Church be safeguarding? The archives hold a vast array of documents that span over a millennium. Within these documents are sensitive correspondences, treaties, excommunications, heresy trials, and other records that, if taken out of context or misused, could lead to misunderstandings or manipulations of historical facts. The restrictions are in place to ensure that only those with a legitimate and responsible academic purpose have access. The archives contain some of the oldest and most fragile documents in existence. These include papal bulls, illuminated manuscripts, and letters from historical figures. Strict control over who can handle these documents ensures that they are preserved for future generations. The rules are stringent, with guidelines on how to handle the documents without causing wear or damage. The Church's theology is central to the understanding of many of the documents within the archives. Without a strong grasp of Catholic doctrine and history, misinterpretations can easily occur. By restricting access to trained scholars and theologians, the Vatican aims to prevent misreadings and misrepresentations of the materials. Interestingly, the aura of secrecy itself may be a reason for the continued restriction. By maintaining a certain level of mystique and exclusivity, the Church underscores the importance and sacredness of the knowledge contained within the walls. This in turn heightens the respect and caution with which scholars approach their work in the archive. Finally, it's worth considering that not all the archive's contents are known even to the Vatican staff. With millions of documents documents and some sections that have yet to be fully catalogued or explored, there might be materials whose significance is not yet understood. Restricting access ensures that the discovery and interpretation of these hidden gems are conducted in a controlled and thoughtful manner. What if I told you that one of the most secretive and mysterious places on Earth is also one of the coldest? A place that holds hidden mountain ranges, alien-like landscapes, and clandestine meetings of the world's most influential figures. A place that has been agreed upon by nearly every nation to remain untouched, yet is the subject of countless expeditions and rumors of covert operations. We're talking about Antarctica, a land of snow and ice and a hotbed of intrigue. So let's embark on a chilling journey to the world's southernmost continent, shall we? Antarctica, Earth's southernmost continent, home to sub-zero temperatures, colossal glaciers, and a distinct lack of permanent residents. But this isn't just a barren, icy wilderness. In fact, it's a place that piques our collective curiosity. Could this frozen wasteland be teeming with secrets just waiting to be uncovered? Antarctica boasts an array of fascinating and unique geographic features, the likes of which can't be found anywhere else on Earth. Its expansive ice sheets, the largest single mass of ice on our planet, are powerful enough to influence global weather patterns and sea levels. Beneath this icy surface lies a diverse landscape of mountains, valleys, and even subglacial lakes, their secrets perfectly preserved by the unforgiving cold. Amid these extreme conditions, life persists. Antarctica is home to a rich array of wildlife, from the regal emperor penguins to the tiny hardy tardigrades. Yet human habitation here is temporary and limited, with no native or permanent residents. The people who do venture here are usually scientists living in research stations, studying everything from climate change to astrobiology, in conditions that are as close as we can get to those on other planets. And then, of course, there's the ominous polar night. And for about half the year, the sun never rises over the Antarctic horizon, plunging the continent into months of relentless darkness. Imagine standing there, beneath the ethereal glow of the aurora australis, the frozen plains stretching out before you as far as the eye can see, untouched and silent. It's in this profound silence and isolation that one begins to wonder, what secrets does Antarctica hold? Why do people, some of them very influential, visit this icy, inhospitable wilderness? Could there be clandestine meetings occurring in the hushed silence of its frozen expanse? Antarctica's enduring allure lies in its isolation, its extreme conditions, and its inaccessibility. It's a place that challenges our understanding of life and survival, a testament to nature's raw power and resilience. It's a place of mystery and beauty, of ice and isolation. But the real question that hangs over this icy wilderness is this: what secrets does it hold? Let's start by exploring the enigma that is Antarctica. So we've talked about the famous faces who've been to Antarctica and the ambiguities surrounding their trips. But what about the mysterious missions that have taken place in this frozen wasteland? Because as it turns out, Antarctica has been the stage for several undertakings that still baffle us today. Let's begin with Operation High Jump. This expedition, led by the United States Navy in 1946, was officially a scientific and exploratory mission. But the scale was staggering. Around 4,000 personnel, 13 ships and numerous aircraft were involved, making it the largest Antarctic expedition ever. Officially, the mission was to establish a research base and to test military hardware in extreme conditions. Yet the operation ended abruptly, well before the planned 8-month duration. Why was that? Well, the official explanation was unfavorable weather conditions, but conspiracy theorists suggest there might be more to it. Another significant event was the Soviet Union's Antarctic expeditions in the late 1950s and 60s, particularly the establishment of the Vostok Station. Beneath this station lies the hidden Lake Vostok, a vast untouched body of water cut off from the world for possibly millions of years. Could the Soviet Union have been interested in something more than just scientific research? But perhaps one of the most intriguing stories of Antarctic exploration is the British Operation Tabarin of 1943. Officially, this mission aimed to provide a British presence in the Antarctic, denying access to the area for enemy ships and submarines during World War II. But the secrecy surrounding it, plus the establishment of permanently occupied bases, led to speculations about potential ulterior motives. All these missions, while draped in the mantle of science and exploration, had undertones of military strategy, geopolitical influence, or, according to some, even darker purposes. Whether it was the Americans, the Soviets, or the British, each expedition left behind a legacy of unanswered questions. What were these nations truly seeking in the vast, icy expanse of Antarctica? The answers, much like the continent itself, remain in mystery and ice. Now, you may be wondering, who are these high-profile visitors we're talking about? Well, over the years, there have been several intriguing instances of noted individuals journeying to the Antarctic. Let's delve into a few of these enigmatic encounters. One of the most famous figures to visit Antarctica was none other than the Secretary of State of the United States, John Kerry. This happened in 2016 during the last days of his term in office. What makes this trip interesting isn't just the timing, but also the reasoning. While the stated purpose was to learn about the effects of climate change, conspiracy theorists suggest there could be more to the story. Then we have the case of the revered Apollo astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who journeyed to the South Pole at the age of 86. The official reason? A tourist visit. But Aldrin's trip, given his NASA background, spurred theories about potential extraterrestrial interests in the region. Rounding up our list is Prince Harry of the United Kingdom, who trekked to the South Pole with wounded veterans in a charity event. But was this just a charity event, or was there something else to this royal visit? And let's not forget the Russian Orthodox Church's Patriarch Kirill, who also visited a Russian scientific base in Antarctica. His motive? To bless the continent, or was there a hidden reason? All these visits by people from different nations and fields, each with their own stated reasons, seem to suggest that there might be more happening on this icy, deserted continent than meets the eye. Given the constraints and difficulties of getting to Antarctica, one has to ask, why would these people from various parts of the world take the time and effort to visit this inhospitable land? And why do these visits often seem in secrecy or ambiguity? Is it merely a coincidence that these powerful figures chose to venture to the Earth's southernmost point? Or could there be clandestine motivations hidden beneath the iceberg? We can only hypothesize and wonder as Antarctica continues to keep its secrets well guarded. The allure of Antarctica doesn't end with its geopolitical intrigue or its VIP guest list. The land itself holds secrets that baffle scientists and thrill seekers alike. For instance, beneath its icy surface, Antarctica hides the Gamburtsev Mountains, a mountain range as grand as the Alps, entirely buried under miles of ice. Discovered in 1958 by Soviet scientists, these ghost mountains remain a mystery, with scientists still unsure how they formed or why they haven't eroded away. But it's not just mountains that Antarctica keeps under wraps. Lake Vostok, which I mentioned earlier, is another of Antarctica's hidden marvels. It's one of the largest lakes on Earth by volume, and it's been sealed off from the world under kilometers of ice for 15 million years. Who knows what kind of life might have evolved in its dark, cold waters over such a vast span of time? Even stranger are the eerie phenomena that occur on the icy continent. Take the Blood Falls, for instance, a flow of iron-rich water that stains the Taylor Glacier a horrifying shade of red. Or the massive, nearly perfect circular hole in the sea ice, known as a polynya, that keeps appearing and disappearing in the Weddell Sea, baffling scientists. Then there's the Bloop, an ultra-low-frequency, high-amplitude underwater sound detected by NOAA in 1997. While scientists think the noise is most likely from icequakes, others believe it could be a giant, unknown sea creature lurking in the icy depths. But perhaps the biggest secret of all is the mystery of what lies beneath the ice. Scientists have found evidence of warm caves heated by volcanic activity that could potentially host life. Additionally, satellite imagery has revealed strange, unnatural-looking structures beneath the ice, leading to wild speculations about lost civilizations or even extraterrestrial bases. These elements, together with the political and historical mysteries we've discussed, make Antarctica a hotbed of intrigue. Despite its frigid temperatures, what secrets does this icy fortress still hold? Only time, exploration, and science can tell. Let's begin with the question, what is the only continent on Earth without a native human population? If you guessed Antarctica, you'd be correct. This naturally leads to the question, who owns Antarctica? Interestingly, nobody does. In fact, the continent is governed by a pioneering piece of legislation known as the Antarctic Treaty. The Antarctic Treaty, signed in 1959, is an unprecedented international agreement that has been in place for over half a century. This groundbreaking pact, ratified by 54 parties as of now, suspends national claims to territory in Antarctica, making the continent a shared scientific preserve. But what's even more fascinating is that it prohibits military activity, mineral mining, nuclear testing, and nuclear waste disposal. Imagine the foresight it took to keep one of Earth's last frontiers free from exploitation and conflict. Antarctica, in essence, represents a remarkable experiment in international cooperation and peace. It's an attempt to maintain the pristine condition of the continent and its ecosystems for future generations. The treaty also encourages freedom of scientific investigation and cooperation between nations. And this cooperation has led to some monumental discoveries in fields like geology, glaciology, and climatology. Not to mention, it has provided us with invaluable insights into the history of our planet and the effects of climate change. Now, while all these regulations are in place, the treaty doesn't explicitly ban human presence or certain types of activity. It has specific provisions for inspection and observation by any party, at any time. However, the mystery deepens when we learn that while countries have the liberty to send scientific expeditions, many reports suggest that VIPs and important figures have visited the icy continent under hushed circumstances. So, why would these important personalities want to visit the coldest, windiest, driest, and arguably the harshest place on Earth? Is it the allure of the untamed wilderness? Or are there secret meetings taking place beneath the guise of scientific expeditions? The conjectures only add to the aura of mystery that surrounds Antarctica. The icy fortress of Antarctica, filled with political VIP visitors, daring missions, and natural wonders that defy comprehension. Whether it's secret meetings, ghost mountains, eerie sounds, or potential extraterrestrial bases, Antarctica continues to baffle, intrigue, and fascinate us. As the world advances, so does our curiosity and our ability to explore these remaining frontiers. Only time, exploration, and science will reveal the full scope of Antarctica's secrets. The skies above us have been a source of wonder and mystery since time immemorial. And within that cosmic expanse, there have been sightings, incidents, phenomena that don't fit neatly into our understanding of the world. Incidents that suggest we might not be alone. UFO crashes. They're a staple of science fiction and the fodder of conspiracy theories. But what happens when these crashes are reported in real life? Are they hoaxes, misinterpretations, or could they be genuine encounters with extraterrestrial technology? Today we'll take a journey through some of the most notable purported UFO crash incidents and the intriguing theories surrounding them. Our journey begins in the summer of 1947, in the quiet town of Roswell, New Mexico. The nearby desert landscape was disrupted when an unidentified flying object crashed into the barren soil. What unfolded after is a narrative of intrigue that continues to fuel discussions to this day. Rancher W.W. Mac Brazel discovered the wreckage, which was unlike anything he had ever seen. It was made of a thin, lightweight material that Brazel described as a sort of metal foil. He could crumple it and it would unfold itself, retaining its original shape. The local military base, Roswell Army Airfield, initially reported the recovery of a flying disc, only to retract the statement a day later, claiming it was a simple weather balloon that had crashed. But this quick change in narrative sparked curiosity and suspicion. Could it have been a cover-up? Several witnesses later came forward decades after the incident. They claimed they saw not only the wreckage of a disc-shaped craft, but also the bodies of its otherworldly occupants. Jesse Marcel, the intelligence officer who first investigated and recovered some of the wreckage, later openly disputed the weather balloon explanation. He claimed the materials he found were not of this world. The Roswell incident is perhaps the most famous and thoroughly investigated UFO crash in history. It has become the cornerstone of UFO conspiracy theories and has inspired countless books, movies, and TV shows. But despite all the interest and investigation, the question remains: what really happened in Roswell in the summer of 1947? The truth, as they say, may still be out there. Next, let's travel to Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. On the evening of December 9, 1965, a fireball was reported by thousands in at least 6 US states and Ontario, Canada. It streaked over the Detroit, Michigan, Windsor, Canada area, reportedly dropped hot metal debris over Michigan and northern Ohio, and caused sonic booms in western Pennsylvania. It was generally assumed and reported by the press to be a meteor. However, inhabitants of Kecksburg had a different story to tell. Eyewitnesses in the small village described something crashing in the woods, a large, brilliant fireball in the sky. But this was no ordinary meteor. Residents reported a strange acorn-shaped object about the size of a small car. The strange object was adorned with mysterious hieroglyphic-like characters etched into its metallic surface. The military was on the scene quickly, cordoning off the area and removing the object on a flatbed truck under the cover of darkness. Officially, they later reported they found absolutely nothing in the woods. But this quick response and the subsequent secrecy only fueled the rumors of a government cover-up. In the following years, numerous theories have surfaced about the Kecksburg incident. Some suggest it was a crashed Soviet satellite, others claim it was an extraterrestrial spacecraft, and some even believe it was an experimental Nazi de-Glocker device from WW2, somehow displaced in time. While no definitive conclusion has been reached, the Kecksburg incident continues to intrigue ufologists and conspiracy theorists alike. The truth behind this event remains as elusive as the object itself, a mystery concealed within the shadows of the unknown. The Shag Harbor incident, which took place on October 4, 1967 in Nova Scotia, Canada, is another notable UFO crash that has puzzled investigators for decades. This particular incident stands out due to its multiple credible witnesses and an official government acknowledgement that something unexplained indeed happened. On that fateful night, residents reported seeing a sequence of flashing lights in the sky, which were moving in a downward trajectory. These lights eventually hit the water's surface and appeared to float, prompting some witnesses to believe they were seeing a tragic airplane crash. Local authorities were quickly alerted, and a rescue mission was launched under the assumption that an aircraft had crashed into the sea. But when boats arrived at the scene, there was no wreckage, no bodies, and no survivors. Instead, they found a long, yellow foam on the water, a sign that something unusual had occurred. The Canadian military became involved, and an underwater search was initiated. Still, no aircraft wreckage was found, and the case was handed off to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and the Canadian Coast Guard. They classified it as a UFO report, the only unsolved case in Canada officially classified as a UFO. Over the years, the Shag Harbor incident has provoked numerous theories. Some believe it was a secret military operation, while others propose it was an extraterrestrial craft. Some witnesses even reported seeing a second craft in the sky, seemingly looking for the first one. Despite extensive investigations, including by civilian UFO groups, the true nature of the Shag Harbor incident remains a mystery. It's an enigma that continues to fuel speculation and interest, keeping the incident very much alive in the annals of UFO history. If we're exploring UFO crash incidents, we mustn't overlook the Berwyn Mountain incident in Wales in 1974. This event involves an alleged crash of an unidentified flying object in the Berwyn Mountains. The mystery deepens with the claim of a subsequent military cover-up, which has fueled a lot of speculation over the years. On the night of January 23, 1974, residents in the nearby village of Llandrillo reported a loud explosion and earth tremors. The local community was understandably alarmed, believing they had experienced an earthquake. Many also reported seeing strange lights in the sky moving towards the mountain range. The initial official explanation was that the tremors were caused by an earthquake measuring 3.5 on the Richter scale. However, locals were convinced that the tremors were caused by something crashing into the mountains. This belief was fueled by reports of a significant military presence in the area in the days following the event, leading many to believe that something was being covered up. Over the years, the theories around the Berwyn Mountain incident have ranged from crashed UFOs to secretive military operations. Some believe that an extraterrestrial craft crashed and that the military quickly moved in to retrieve the wreckage and any possible occupants. Others propose that the event was a result of a secretive military experiment gone wrong. Despite numerous requests for information, the UK government has released very little documentation about the incident. This lack of information has only added to the intrigue surrounding the event. Even today, the Berwyn Mountain incident is a focal point for UFO enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists alike. making it one of the most enduring UFO mysteries in the UK. Let's move our focus to the other side of the globe, to a place called Dalnogorsk in the Soviet Union. In the chilly winter evening of January 29, 1986, locals reported a strange reddish sphere flying towards a hill known as Height 611. The object supposedly crashed into the hill, sparking a fire that lasted for hours. The Height 611 incident is unique because of the immediate and extensive research conducted by Soviet scientists in the aftermath. A team led by Dr. Valery Dvuzhilny from the Far Eastern Academy of Sciences gathered samples from the crash site just 2 days later. What they found was peculiar. The site was littered with tiny rock-like particles, metallic in nature, and also unusual black glassy beads. Analysis of these beads revealed them to be almost entirely composed of lead and iron silicate, but it was the way these elements were combined that was unusual. They were structured in a way not typical for naturally occurring minerals or human-made materials. This led the researchers to believe that the object was likely not of earthly origin. Additionally, the trees around the crash site were also affected. They appeared to have been exposed to high heat levels, causing burn damage, but strangely, there was no evidence of a conventional explosion. This further added to the mystery. Despite thorough investigations, what crashed into Height 611 remains a mystery. The unusual nature of the debris and the lack of conventional explanations have led many to believe that this was indeed a UFO crash. Yet, like most UFO incidents, official explanations are scarce and typically dismissive of the extraterrestrial hypothesis. Nevertheless, for many, the Height 611 incident remains a strong piece of evidence in support of the existence of UFOs. How about we step into the time machine and head to the late 19th century, specifically April 17, 1897, in the small town of Aurora, Texas. The event in question predates the Roswell incident by a good half-century, and it's one of the earliest reported UFO crashes. According to local newspaper reports from the time, an airship was seen by several witnesses as it swerved over the town square, then crashed into a windmill on the property of a Judge J.S. Proctor. The explosion that followed destroyed the windmill and the water tank and scattered debris across several acres of ground. But here's where it gets truly bizarre. The townsfolk allegedly discovered a badly disfigured body, which they assumed was the ship's pilot. The body, described as not an inhabitant of this world, was buried with Christian rites in the local cemetery. Reports claim that the wreckage from the crash site had strange hieroglyphic-like symbols. In the 1970s, the case was re-investigated by UFO researchers. They claimed to locate the grave and even applied to exhume the site, but the request was denied. Metal fragments were found in the area which were claimed to be remnants of the UFO, but the results of the analysis were inconclusive. The Aurora case is often dismissed as a hoax, primarily because the town was suffering from a severe economic downturn, and some suggest that the story was concocted to revive interest in the area. But without definitive proof, it remains an intriguing piece of UFO history that continues to fuel speculation about early extraterrestrial visits to Earth. We've journeyed through a landscape of mystery and speculation, diving into numerous accounts of supposed UFO crashes. From Roswell to the Berwyn Mountains, these incidents have spurred countless theories, debates, and investigations. While it's easy to dismiss these stories as mere fabrications or misunderstandings, they do serve a crucial role in fueling our curiosity about what lies beyond our planet. They remind us that the universe is vast, and there's so much we don't yet understand. Could we be visited by beings from another world? Have we already been? The answers are still out there, waiting in the vast expanse of the cosmos. Until next time, remember to keep looking up and questioning everything. Have you ever pondered over the ice-covered wilderness at the bottom of our world, Antarctica? A place that feels so alien yet is a part of our home planet, brimming with extreme conditions, profound isolation, and most intriguingly, secrets. As we dive into this icy expanse, we find that Antarctica holds a captivating allure. This is the coldest, windiest, and driest continent on Earth. Here, it's not uncommon to witness snowstorms that can last for weeks, winds that reach speeds of up to 200 miles per hour, and temperatures that plunge to an unimaginable -128.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The inhospitable environment makes it one of the least explored places on our planet. Yet the most fascinating part is, Antarctica wasn't always this icy wonderland. Picture lush forests, warm environments, and a rich array of life forms, from towering dinosaurs to a diversity of plant species. That was Antarctica millions of years ago during the late Cretaceous period. But the transition from this paradise to the frozen desert we see today remains one of the greatest climatic mysteries. What brought about this drastic shift? Well, scientists believe that the movement of tectonic plates isolated Antarctica from other continents, leading to a circular ocean current that trapped cold water around it. But the full story of Antarctica's icy transformation is still being unraveled, layer by layer, much like the ice cores that scientists dig up to study past climates. In this vast expanse of ice and mystery, every discovery only seems to unearth more questions. Antarctica, the last frontier on Earth, has been a stage for some of the most intriguing and unexplained disappearances in human history. While some may attribute these to the harsh and unpredictable nature of the icy wilderness, others find a deeper mystery wrapped in the cold white sheets of the Antarctic. One such story is of the British polar explorer Belgrave Ninnis. During the 1911 Australasian Antarctic expedition, led by Douglas Mawson, Ninnis, along with Mawson and Xavier Mertz, embarked on a journey to chart the icy wilderness. However, in a cruel twist of fate, Ninnis plunged into a hidden crevasse along with the expedition's best dogs and most of their supplies. His body was never recovered, and his loss greatly impacted the expedition and particularly Mawson, who barely survived the ordeal. A more modern mystery is the case of Carl Dish, an American scientist stationed at the Byrd Station in 1965. One day, Dish walked out of the station for a routine task and never returned. Despite extensive search efforts in the severe conditions, no trace of him was ever found. To this day, his disappearance remains one of the unsolved mysteries of Antarctica. Another strange disappearance occurred in 1947, involving the infamous Operation High Jump led by Admiral Richard Byrd. The operation ended prematurely and several crew members unexpectedly lost their lives. Official records attribute these losses to harsh weather and aircraft crashes, but conspiracy theories suggest something more nefarious, involving secret Nazi bases and even UFOs. Living in Antarctica is a risky endeavor, with its unforgiving weather and isolation. Each disappearance underscores not only the personal tragedies of those lost, but also the sheer power and mystery of this final frontier. Even with our modern technology and understanding, Antarctica continues to guard its secrets closely. In a region dominated by snow and ice, any structure that deviates from this frozen landscape captures immediate attention. Satellite images from 2012 unveiled a potential anomaly in Antarctica's icy expanse, a structure bearing an uncanny resemblance to a pyramid. The pyramid-like formation covered in snow sparked a flurry of speculation and discussion. The formation is perfectly shaped, suggesting artificial construction rather than natural formation. For some, this is evidence of a lost civilization that once thrived in Antarctica when it was a much warmer place. Ancient astronaut theorists propose that these pyramids were constructed by extraterrestrial beings that visited Earth thousands of years ago. But mainstream scientists offer a more down-to-earth explanation. They believe that the so-called pyramids are merely nunataks, peaks of rock that protrude through ice or snow. Nunataks are common in heavily glaciated areas and can appear pyramid-like, particularly when eroded by wind and frost. Yet the exact origin of these structures remains unknown. Exploring these regions is an incredibly challenging task due to Antarctica's unforgiving climate and remote location. Until a thorough investigation can be made, the origins of the Antarctic pyramids will remain a mystery, nestled within the frozen extremes of our planet. Another interesting theory linked to the pyramids of Antarctica is the existence of an ancient, advanced civilization under the ice. Based on ancient texts and maps, like the Piri Reis map that accurately depicts Antarctica without ice, some argue that a civilization, advanced enough to build pyramids, once flourished there. However, most scientists dismiss this theory, suggesting that the map interpretations are incorrect and that the pyramid-like structures are natural formations. The Antarctic pyramids mystery continues to fascinate and stir curiosity, with every theory providing a new perspective on our understanding of Earth's history. The unforgiving and inaccessible nature of Antarctica adds to this intrigue, making it a place of eternal fascination. In the realm of Antarctic mysteries, few are as intriguing or enshrouded in controversy as Operation High Jump. Led by Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd of the United States Navy in 1946–47, this expedition to Antarctica was officially described as a scientific endeavor aimed at exploring the continent and establishing a research base, little America before. But let's think about this. Operation High Jump was at the time the largest Antarctic expedition ever undertaken, with a task force of over 4,700 men, 13 ships and numerous aircraft. This scientific mission was armed to the teeth. The sheer scale of the operation has raised questions about its true purpose. Was it just scientific curiosity, or was there something more to this journey to the bottom of the world? Here's where it gets even weirder. According to some reports, Admiral Byrd warned about enemy fighters that can fly from pole to pole with incredible speed upon his return. This unusual statement stirred numerous theories, including encounters with unknown advanced technology or even extraterrestrial forces. Conspiracy theories abound, ranging from a secret mission to destroy a hidden Nazi base in Antarctica to a search for the entrance to a suspected hollow Earth. Some even suggest that Operation High Jump was a cover-up for a secret nuclear weapons testing program. The official report by the US Navy states that the expedition was terminated due to early ice formation and personnel safety. However, given the premature end to the expedition, just weeks into what was supposed to be a 6-month mission, the abrupt conclusion has added to the layers of intrigue surrounding Operation High Jump. While most scientists and historians stick to the official narrative of a scientific expedition encountering unforeseen challenges, others continue to speculate on what truly occurred during Operation High Jump. Despite the wealth of theories, the full details of what transpired during this mysterious mission remain locked beneath the ice of official secrecy and speculative conjecture. Just like the pyramids and disappearances, Operation High Jump adds yet another piece to the intricate puzzle of Antarctica's mysteries. Let's delve into Antarctica's many mysteries. Ever heard of Lake Vostok? It's the largest of more than 400 known subglacial lakes in Antarctica. Hidden under more than 2 miles of ice, Lake Vostok is about the size of Lake Ontario and has been sealed off from the world for up to 25 million years. What might be lurking in its depths? In 2012, Russian scientists finally reached the lake after more than 2 decades of drilling. The samples they obtained revealed the presence of an astonishing variety of life forms, many of which couldn't be matched to known species. Could these be ancient organisms trapped in time and evolved in isolation? Or might they hint at the types of life forms that could exist in similar extreme environments, say the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn? This alien world beneath the ice has opened up new possibilities for astrobiology, the study of life's potential beyond Earth. Another unsolved Antarctic mystery involves the Piri-Reis map. This map, drawn in 1513 by the Ottoman Admiral Piri-Reis, shows the Atlantic coast of Europe, Africa and the Americas in remarkable detail for its time. But its depiction of Antarctica is the most controversial part. The map seems to show the subglacial topography of Queen Maud Land in Antarctica, a feature unknown until the advent of modern seismic surveying. How could this knowledge appear on a map drawn more than 500 years ago? Despite numerous theories, the mystery remains. Lastly, there's the haunting story of the Endurance, a ship led by explorer Ernest Shackleton in an ill-fated 1914 attempt to cross Antarctica. The ship was trapped and eventually crushed by sea ice, forcing the crew to embark on a perilous journey to safety. Remarkably, all of them survived, but the wreck of the Endurance has never been found. In the silent white wilderness of Antarctica, countless stories are waiting to be discovered and understood. For every question we answer, it seems a new one appears like a fractal pattern in the snow, reminding us of the beauty of exploration and the thrill of the unknown. So there you have it, Antarctica, a land that seems to hold more questions than answers. Its icy expanse has been a stage for enigmatic tales of mysterious structures, inexplicable disappearances, and Operation High Jump's elusive motives. Each mystery, a thread in the tapestry of human curiosity. But as we attempt to unravel these mysteries, we must remember that it's the pursuit of the unknown that drives us forward. This is the essence of human curiosity. It's not about finding all the answers. It's about the thrill of the quest and the questions that keep us searching. Hey guys, I'm back, but what if I wasn't? What if instead I was an extraterrestrial being from a far-off galaxy? A concept that's not too far off for some conspiracy theorists who believe that our governments have been keeping secrets about alien landings. But how about something even more mind-boggling? Alien connections to the Great Pyramids. Well, let's dive in and explore these intriguing ideas. In our quest to comprehend the unknown, we often turn to our governments. After all, they must know something, right? From the late 1940s through the late 1960s, the US government's Project Blue Book compiled reports of over 12,000 sightings or encounters with unidentified flying objects. Although the project concluded in 1969, stating that most of the sightings involved conventional aircraft or natural phenomena, and that none posed a threat to national security, it didn't quell the public's fascination or skepticism, but there's more. In recent years, the US government has released a series of videos that show fast-moving objects captured by military aircraft. These videos, which the Department of Defense has explicitly referred to as containing unidentified aerial phenomena, have reignited public interest and speculation about the existence of extraterrestrial life and their potential visitations to our planet. Moreover, the CIA has declassified a large number of documents and files about UFOs, making them available online. This trove of information includes reports dating from the 1940s to the early 1990s. Though many of these reports are heavily redacted and offer no concrete evidence of extraterrestrial life, they do prove one thing. The government has spent considerable time and resources investigating these phenomena. So, yes, governments have leaked, declassified, or even directly released information concerning UFOs, or, as they now prefer to call them, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP. Still, the question remains, are these genuine encounters with alien technology, or are they merely earthly phenomena we have yet to understand fully? As we venture deeper, keep this question in mind. And the Roswell incident, that's where things get particularly controversial, and conspiracy theories abound. In 1947, something fell from the sky near Roswell, New Mexico. The US military claimed it was a weather balloon, but many didn't buy this explanation. Even today, over 7 decades later, the incident sparks debates and conspiracy theories. At the time, a local rancher discovered unusual debris in his sheep pasture. Lightweight, but incredibly strong, pieces of what appeared to be metal and plastic. After the military swiftly collected and removed the material, rumors began circulating that it was not a weather balloon that had crashed, but an extraterrestrial spacecraft. The Roswell incident has since become a linchpin of UFO conspiracy theories, with allegations of a government cover-up. Documents have been declassified over time, but many questions remain, keeping Roswell firmly in the realm of the mysterious and the unexplained. And here's where things get even more peculiar. Some claim that not only was there a crashed spacecraft, but also recovered alien bodies. Reports suggest that autopsies were performed on these beings, offering insight into extraterrestrial physiology. However, these accounts have been largely dismissed by mainstream science and are often considered the stuff of science fiction. But then again, in a universe so vast, who's to say what's possible? After all, as I always like to ponder, we're just a tiny speck in the grand cosmic scale. The Roswell incident remains one of the most enduring and fascinating stories in the world of ufology. And while the truth of what really happened is still shrouded in secrecy and skepticism, the allure of the unknown continues to captivate us, fueling our curiosity and our imagination. Who knows what secrets the universe holds, or what might come crashing down from the sky next? And now let's take a massive leap, not just in location but also in time, from the deserts of New Mexico in the mid-20th century to the deserts of Egypt thousands of years ago. It's time to talk about the Great Pyramids of Giza and how they might be connected to aliens. These majestic structures, the last of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, are truly awe-inspiring. The biggest of them all, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, consists of 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. What's even more staggering is that these pyramids were built with such precision that our current technology would struggle to match. The Great Pyramid, for example, is aligned to true north with an accuracy of 3/60 yards of a degree. How could the ancient Egyptians accomplish such a feat without the aid of modern technology or even the compass? This is where the alien theorists step in. Some propose that such advanced architectural and engineering skills could have come from extraterrestrial beings. They argue that aliens might have either directly built the pyramids or passed on the knowledge to the ancient Egyptians. Some even go as far as to suggest that the pyramids were used as a sort of energy generator or even a beacon for alien spacecraft. Many scientists and historians dismiss these theories, citing ample evidence of the techniques and tools used by the Egyptians, along with a gradual evolution of pyramid building skills over generations. But the alien theorists persist, asking questions like, why does the layout of the pyramids match the Orion's Belt constellation? And why are there similar pyramid structures in cultures around the world with no known contact with each other? While it's easy to dismiss these theories as fantastical, they do make us ponder the extraordinary capabilities of our ancestors and the mysteries that ancient structures like the pyramids continue to hold. Whether or not you believe in the alien connection, there's no denying that these questions add another layer of intrigue to the already captivating story of the pyramids. As we delve deeper, we continue to uncover more about our past and potentially about our place in the universe. Now, let's delve deeper into one of the most intriguing aspects of the Great Pyramids of Giza, their alignment. As I mentioned earlier, these pyramids are aligned with an uncanny level of precision. But did you know that they also mimic a specific pattern seen in the night sky? The three pyramids on the Giza Plateau, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramid of Khafre, and the Pyramid of Menkaure, are laid out in a pattern that matches the three stars in the belt of the constellation Orion. This is what is known as the Orion correlation theory, first put forward by Belgian author Robert Bouvel in the 1980s. Here's where it gets even more interesting. The theory suggests that not only do the pyramids mimic the Orion's belt, but they also do so as the constellation would have appeared in the sky in the year 10,500 BCE. This is a significant divergence from the accepted chronology, which places the construction of the pyramids at around 2,500 BCE. But why Orion? Well, in ancient Egyptian mythology, the god associated with the afterlife, Osiris, was represented in the sky by the constellation Orion. So it's theorized that the pyramids, specifically the Great Pyramid, were built to serve as a stargate for the pharaoh's soul to ascend to the afterlife and join with Osiris in the constellation Orion. Some proponents of the alien theory seize on this point, suggesting that the alignment and precision involved in this construction could only have been achieved with advanced, likely extraterrestrial knowledge and technology. They also point out that other ancient structures around the world, like the Teotihuacan in Mexico, also seem to align with celestial bodies, further fueling the notion of a worldwide ancient connection with extraterrestrial beings. As always, these theories are met with skepticism from mainstream scholars. They argue that the Egyptians had a deep understanding of astronomy and that the correlation with Orion could be coincidental or symbolic, rather than evidence of alien intervention. Still, the pyramid alignment theory, much like the pyramids themselves, stands as a fascinating testament to the enduring allure of these ancient marvels. Whether the product of human ingenuity or extraterrestrial influence, the precision and grandeur of the pyramids continue to captivate us, prompting us to question, to probe, and to wonder about the incredible story of human civilization. As we explore the various theories surrounding the pyramids and their potential extraterrestrial connections, it's essential to examine how governments, particularly the Egyptian government, have responded to these claims. The Egyptian government has long maintained that the pyramids were constructed by ancient Egyptians using conventional methods, with no influence or assistance from extraterrestrial beings. They argue that while the construction techniques employed may seem advanced or mysterious, they are in line with the level of knowledge and skill possessed by ancient Egyptians. In response to theories about extraterrestrial involvement, officials have consistently cited the work of renowned Egyptologists and archaeologists who have spent years studying the pyramids and their construction. These experts have offered explanations for the alignment, measurements, and precise engineering of the pyramids, suggesting that human ingenuity and innovation were solely responsible. Some governments have also taken steps to counter conspiracy theories about alien connections to the pyramids. For instance, they have cooperated with international research teams and supported scientific studies that examine the construction methods and materials used in building the pyramids. By facilitating such research, They aim to provide evidence that supports the mainstream view that the pyramids are the product of human craftsmanship rather than extraterrestrial intervention. In recent years, the Egyptian government has also made efforts to promote transparency and inclusivity in the study of their ancient heritage. They have invited experts from around the world to participate in ongoing archaeological projects and have welcomed new technologies and methods that can help shed light on the pyramid's construction. Despite these efforts, the allure of the alien theory persists, and a variety of alternative explanations continue to circulate. While the government's response has been to promote scientific research and uphold the achievements of their ancient civilization, the enduring fascination with the possibility of extraterrestrial involvement in the construction of the pyramids is a testament to the deep sense of wonder and curiosity that these ancient marvels continue to inspire. Theories of government cover-ups and alien landings, the mysterious origins of the pyramids. These stories provide a fascinating look into our collective fascination with the unknown. They challenge our understanding of history and our place in the universe. And while these theories may lack definitive proof, they certainly provide food for thought. So the next time you look up at the stars or marvel at the pyramids, ask yourself, what if there's more to the story? Do you remember everything that you learned in your history class? What if I told you that some significant chunks of our shared past might be lost, altered, or even deliberately forgotten? And no, I'm not talking about your inability to recall the dates of the French Revolution. Our understanding of history, especially the ancient world, is often like a jigsaw puzzle. Only we are not always sure if we've got all the pieces. From the advanced civilizations lost to time, to the real age of the Sphinx and the mysteries of Antarctica, there are chapters of our past that might dramatically reshape our understanding of human history, but have remained on the fringes of mainstream academia. So let's dive into some of these historical mysteries that have slipped through the cracks, or that governments have tried to make us forget. Project Highjump, an official US Navy mission that launched in 1946, remains cloaked in a layer of mystery. Led by Admiral Richard E. Byrd, this Antarctic expedition involved 4,700 men, 13 ships and 33 aircraft. Ostensibly, the mission's purpose was to establish the Antarctic research base Little America 4, test military hardware in extreme conditions, and refine and develop Arctic rescue techniques. However, numerous conspiracy theories have swirled around the true purpose of the mission, fueled in part by Byrd's later comments to a Chilean newspaper. In an interview, he warned of enemy fighters that can fly from pole to pole with incredible speed, leading many to speculate about hidden German bases, advanced technologies, or even extraterrestrial involvement. While most of these theories lack substantive evidence, the abrupt end to the expedition, initially planned for 6 to 8 months but culminating in just 8 weeks, raises questions. Official records attributed this to early onset of winter and worsening weather conditions, yet these reports haven't entirely quashed public curiosity. To this day, many details about the expedition remain classified, leaving space for conjecture. It's important to tread carefully when separating fact from fiction in such cases. These scenarios remind us that sometimes the historical narratives we receive may not present the complete picture. It underscores the crucial need for transparency in historical and governmental documentation to ensure that history, in its fullest sense, is available to us all. The Great Library of Alexandria, founded in the 3rd century BCE, was an intellectual beacon of the ancient world. Positioned in Alexandria, Egypt, it was dedicated to the Muses, the 9 goddesses of the arts. This grand institution attracted scholars from all around the ancient world, housing an unrivaled collection of manuscripts and books on a wide range of subjects, including astronomy, geography, philosophy, and medicine. Some estimates suggest the library held over 500,000 documents from Assyria, Greece, Persia, Egypt, India, and many other nations. However, the destruction of the Library of Alexandria and the vast knowledge it contained is one of history's greatest losses. Its fall is usually attributed to a fire, which could have occurred at several points in the library's existence. The potential culprits range from Julius Caesar's army during the siege of Alexandria in 48 BCE to later devastations associated with the purges of paganism under Christian Roman emperors. The mystery surrounding the loss of the Library of Alexandria is made more complex by the fact that for centuries, the blame has been passed around between different cultures, empires, and religions. Its demise has become a symbol of knowledge being lost, and is often used to criticize the anti-intellectual periods throughout history. However, it is critical to remember that history is often written by the victors, who may have reasons to downplay or ignore their destructive acts. Despite its fall, the Library of Alexandria's intellectual legacy continues to impact our understanding of the ancient world. Its loss is a sobering reminder of the transient nature of human knowledge and the need to continually preserve and disseminate it. In the traditional narrative, Christopher Columbus is hailed as the discoverer of the Americas, arriving in 1492 on behalf of the Spanish crown. But that is an overly simplified and misleading narrative. Columbus was not the first outsider to step foot in the New World, nor were the cultures he encountered discovered. They had thriving societies, complex governmental systems, and rich cultural traditions long before Columbus's ships appeared on the horizon. There's plenty of evidence to suggest that the Norse, led by Leif Erikson around the year 1000 CE, were the first known Europeans to establish settlements in North America, specifically in what we now know as Newfoundland, Canada. These Viking explorers had already been living and trading in these parts of the New World some 500 years before Columbus set sail. The remains of their settlements have been studied extensively since they were unearthed in the 1960s. In addition to the Norse, there are numerous theories and some tantalizing pieces of evidence that point to other possible pre-Columbian explorers. Some of these include the Polynesians, the Chinese, the Welsh, and even the Irish. Each theory has its own array of circumstantial evidence, from peculiar inscriptions and artifacts to oral traditions and linguistic oddities. Even more significantly, the narrative that Columbus discovered the Americas glosses over the rich and diverse cultures that already existed there. The Aztecs, Mayans, Incas, and numerous North American tribes had civilizations that rivaled those in Europe, with their own scientific, mathematical, and cultural achievements. Acknowledging these facts challenges the traditional Eurocentric view of history, and it's often a narrative that is uncomfortable to confront. There is an inclination to present history in a way that reinforces the dominant cultural paradigm, and anything that contradicts this is often overlooked or downplayed. However, understanding these truths is crucial to appreciate the breadth and diversity of human history in all its complexity. Ancient advanced civilizations such as the Sumerians, Egyptians, Indus Valley inhabitants, and the people of ancient China have long been sources of fascination and intrigue. Some of their knowledge and practices display a sophistication and understanding of the world that seem years ahead of their time. However, mainstream academia often prefers to maintain a linear narrative of human progress that doesn't always fit with these realities. Take the example of the Sumerians. They were an early civilization emerging in the Mesopotamian region around 4500 BCE. The Sumerians are credited with the invention of writing, the wheel, and sophisticated systems of agriculture, law, and religion. But there's more. They also had detailed knowledge of the solar system, including the existence of planets not visible to the naked eye, facts that they presumably had no means of knowing. Similarly, the construction techniques and astronomical alignments of the Egyptian pyramids and other ancient structures, such as Stonehenge, have baffled researchers for centuries. Despite a lack of access to modern technology, these structures were created with a precision that rivals modern construction techniques. This suggests that our ancient ancestors were more advanced than traditionally believed. Then we have the civilization of the Indus Valley, where people enjoyed city planning and sanitary systems that are surprisingly similar to our own. The cities of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa had complex sewer systems and grid-like city layouts, showing a level of urban planning and understanding of hygiene that was unique for its time. Our history, as told by conventional narratives, often omits or glosses over these feats of ancient ingenuity. This doesn't necessarily imply a conspiracy, but rather a tendency to fit history into a familiar, comfortable narrative. Re-examining these narratives pushes us to recognize that our ancestors were capable of incredible achievements and to understand that the path of human progress isn't always a straight line. The Sphinx is one of the most iconic monuments of ancient Egypt, its colossal body of a lion and the head of a man gazing out across the Giza Plateau. Traditionally, it is thought to have been built by the pharaoh Khafre around 2500 BCE. However, this dating is based largely on circumstantial evidence, and a growing body of research suggests that the Sphinx might be significantly older, potentially pushing back the timeline of advanced human civilization. One of the main proponents of this theory is Dr. Robert Schoch, a geologist and associate professor of natural sciences at the Boston University. After years of studying the Sphinx and its surrounding enclosure, Dr. Schoch concluded that the weathering patterns on the Sphinx are not caused by wind and sand, as traditionally believed, but by long-term rainfall erosion. This would suggest that the Sphinx was built during a period of greater rainfall, which last occurred in Egypt around 5000 to 7000 BCE during the Neolithic subpluvial or the African humid period. Further, the astronomical alignment of the Sphinx with the constellation of Leo around 10,500 BCE has led other researchers such as Graham Hancock and Robert Bauval to propose a similar date. They argue that the Sphinx was part of a grand celestial blueprint designed by an advanced civilization, a narrative that challenges the conventional understanding of human history. There's also the legend of the Hall of Records proposed by the American clairvoyant Edgar Cayce, who claimed that survivors of the lost city of Atlantis buried their knowledge in a library under the Sphinx. While this might be a touch too speculative, it nevertheless underscores the mystery surrounding the true age of the Sphinx. Challenging the traditional narrative of the age and purpose of the Sphinx could potentially rewrite human history. It implies that there existed civilizations with advanced technical and scientific capabilities much earlier than previously thought. Yet it's a topic often avoided in mainstream academia, which can be resistant to radically new ideas that unsettle established narratives. The mystery of the Sphinx serves as a stark reminder of how much of our past might still be hidden, waiting for us to piece together the puzzle of human history. The Indus Valley Civilization, which flourished around 2500 BCE in what is now Pakistan and India, was one of the world's earliest urban civilizations, noted for its cities built of brick, roadside drainage systems, and multi-storied houses. The people of the Indus Valley showed advanced city planning and engaged in efficient agricultural practices. But around 1700 BCE, this advanced civilization started to decline, and by 1300 BCE, it had vanished completely. Its script remains undeciphered, leaving us with little understanding of its social structures and ways of life. So what caused the disappearance of the Indus Valley civilization? Some historians suggest a change in weather patterns, with prolonged droughts leading to crop failures. Others propose a catastrophic flood or an invasion by Indo-Aryans as probable causes, but without hard evidence, these are mere speculations. Interestingly, modern governments have shown an oddly lukewarm interest in delving deeper into this mystery. Some suggest this could be due to the potential implications that further archaeological findings might have on current religious and social structures. This theory, while intriguing, only adds to the mystery. What secrets does the ancient Indus Valley civilization hold that might disrupt our understanding of history? As we continue to unravel the mysteries of our past, the truth of this civilization lost to time may yet come to light. So there you have it, the shadowy corners of our shared history that rarely see the light of mainstream acknowledgement. Each of these examples, from the Library of Alexandria to the Sphinx of Giza, serves as a stark reminder of how much of our past remains undiscovered or contested. Maybe, as Carl Sagan once said, you have to know the past to understand the present. And as always, it's the quest for knowledge, the relentless pursuit of truth, that propels us forward. We are constantly piecing together the scattered fragments of our past to construct a clearer picture of our journey as a species. And as we dig deeper, who knows what other astounding revelations await us in the sands of forgotten time. Remember, history is not just about the past, it's also a roadmap that guides us into the future. And as always, thanks for watching.